In this video number 14 of Learn Hindi the Easy Way, we are going to see simple past tense transitive verb. In the simple past tense, the verb agrees to the object and not the subject. In the absence of an object, the verb remains in masculine third person singular, regardless of the subject. So subject is not important here. In transitive verbs, past tense, it's what we have to take note is the object. We'll see some examples now, before which I'll give you another note. Now let us see how the verb ends in transitive verbs. If there is no object, it is going to be verb root and the sound a. And if there are objects, it is going to be a, that is verb root and a if it is masculine, verb root and e sound if it is feminine, verb root and a sound if it is masculine plural, and e, it should have been a nasal shaded n there, that you can understand it's e sound, feminine plural. So if there's no objects, it is a. If there's an object, then it is accordingly masculine, feminine, masculine plural, masculine, feminine plural. It's a, e. There's also another thing for you to notice. Since the verb agrees to the object, the gender of the subject can only be guessed. So when you're talking and when we are using a transitive verb in the past tense, we'll not know if it's he or she, or if it's they as masculine or they as feminine, unless more context is added to it. We'll see them now, but most of the time we can do a guesswork and find out who we are talking about. The first phrase is we read. Humne, that is hum, ne, because it is transitive verb. Read is a transitive verb. Humne pad. Pad is the verb root. Padna is the verb. Padna means to read. Humne pad. You can do a guess, or we'll see that now. Okay, for we read, it is humne pada. Why? Because there is no object, and if there is no object, it is always third person singular masculine, which always ends with the sound a, regardless of whether it's hum or main, tum, aap, anything, it is always going to be a ending if there is no object. It's quite easy. We'll see the next one now. The next phrase is she listened. Usne suna. Why? Because there is no object, and so it is usne. And as I told you before, it is not possible for you to understand if you're talking about she, or in this phrase it can also be he. So for he and she, it's always usne suna, because if it is an intransitive verb, we can make out who we are talking about, if it's a masculine or feminine, because it agrees to the subject pronoun. But in the case of intransitive verb, you cannot make out if it's he or she in this case. But because we are talking about she, we use usne kaha, usne suna. But if we use just this, people can also understand that he listened. So it can be usne suna, can be she listened or he listened. The next phrase is she listened. Usne suna. Why? Because there is no object, and so it is usne. And as I told you before, it is not possible for you to understand if you're talking about she, or in this phrase it can also be he. So for he and she, it's always usne suna, because if it is an intransitive verb, we can make out who we are talking about, if it's a masculine or feminine, because it agrees to the subject pronoun. But in the case of intransitive verb, you cannot make out if it's he or she in this case. But because we are talking about she, we use usne kaha, usne suna. But if we use just this, people can also understand that he listened. So it can be usne suna, can be she listened or he listened. But in the case of intransitive verb such as walk, run, sleep, you can make out who we are talking about, if it's a male, if it's a masculine or feminine. We can clearly know if it is he or she. But That's the difference between a transitive verb and an intransitive verb. The next phrase is, she listened to 3 poems. Unhone, that is she. As I told you, it can also be he. But we are using not usne, we are using unhone because we are about an elderly, respectable woman there. So it is unhone. Teen, that is 3. Kavitae, that is poems. It's plural. So sunna is the verb here, so you can guess. You can try your guessing if you cannot. And just to let you know, kavita is feminine and we are talking about plural. So we are talking about 3 poems. The next one is how to say she played. Usne khela. And because there is no object there, it is always the sound a. Usne khela. Now we are inserting an object there, that is she played football. How do you say that? And just to help you, give you a hint, football can be considered a masculine. So usne football khel, what can it be? We're going to see that now. Yes, you can understand from the table up there, football is masculine and we are talking about just one football. So it is usne football khela. Those ladies saw. It's a very abrupt sentence, but still for the sake of learning, we'll keep them very, very short. Those ladies saw. Un mahilaon ne dekha. In this case, it's very clear because we are talking about women. And so un mahilaon ne, so it becomes, instead of unone, it is un mahilaon, that is group of women, more than one lady. Mahilaon ne dekha. And there is no object there. It is un mahilaon ne dekha. Now for the same set of ladies, we are going to add an object there and try to conjugate it, make a sentence out of it. Those women saw a movie. Un mahilaon ne ek film dekhi, because film is feminine. Dekhi. So dekhi agrees to film and not to those ladies. Dekhi. Film dekhi. I drank. Maine piya. Just imagine the girl saying, I drank. Or the guy saying, I drank. He says, well, I already drank. So, maine piya. So, maine piya. And it is always the R sound because there is no object there. I can understand that as adult learners, it may sound a little weird for you to be having one picture there to understand. But trust me, having a picture and looking at it can really make your learning a little faster. You can attribute the words and sentence to an image which can fastly get imprinted in your brain. It works really fast. Believe me, that is how I learn new things and it works really, really well. So the next sentence is, I drank coffee. Maine coffee pee. What can it be? Coffee. We are using the English word coffee, but still it is feminine. I drank coffee. So here we are. I drank coffee. Maine coffee pee. So for the verbs that has p or the kind of e sound, and if you're taking the na part such as p, and then it doesn't add another e to that and doesn't become a very long pe. No, instead it just remains p. Maine coffee p. That is all. It doesn't become p because the verb is pina, that is to drink. It doesn't become p and another e. It's not a very elongated e. Instead it's just p. Maine coffee p. And coffee is feminine, and so the sound P. Maine coffee pee. The next sentence is, I read some books. And padna is to read. Kitab is book, which is feminine. So, which can help you to guess and you can make a sentence of your own. मैंने कुछ किताबें पढ़. What can that be? We're going to see that now. Okay, I read some books. मैंने कुछ किताबें पढ़ी, because it is feminine and plural and the verb agrees to books. किताबें पढ़ी. मैंने कुछ किताबें पढ़ी. I read some books. You wrote some books. तूने कुछ किताबें लिखी. तूने, and in this case we are talking about a very casual, just imagine those two are childhood friends and they use a very close, very informal term. In that case it's fine to use tu. Otherwise it has to be either tum. In most cases it has to be tum. Aap is a more very high, if you're talking to somebody very elderly person, and then more respectable term is aap. But otherwise if a colleague like that not very well acquainted with, they'll always use tum. But in this case she's using tu or he's using tu because they know quite well. तूने कुछ किताबें लिखी. You wrote some books. Because it's किताबें, it's लिखी. I think I'm talking very, very slow, so when you learn, you can understand it better. But if you feel that I should talk a little faster, you can let that know in the comment, please. Now we are talking about Ashok. Ashok is the name of the person there. A young guy, Ashok, and Ashok bought. Just imagine who bought? Ashok bought. Ashok ne kharida. Kharidna is the verb here meaning to buy or purchase. Ashok ne kharida. Because there's no object there, we are using kharida. The next one is, again we are talking about Ashok. Ashok bought a book. Ashok ne ek kitab, and kitab is feminine, and we are talking about just one kitab, that is one book. So it's Ashok ne ek kitab kharid. What is that going to be? We'll see that. Okay, here we come. Ashok bought a book. Ashok ne ek kitab kharidi. And because it's kitab, that's book, singular feminine, kharidi. Ashok ne ek kitab kharidi. The next sentence is Ashok. It's the same Ashok again. He's doing a lot of things. Ashok bought 5 books. Ashok ne 5 kitabein. So it's not kitab, it becomes kitabe. If you want to understand plural, you'll also find that in my earlier lesson. Kitabein kharidi, bought. Ashok ne 5 kitabein kharidi. Ashok bought 2 horses. Now Ashok is doing a completely different thing now. Ashok ne 2 gode, means horse. Goda is a horse, which is masculine. Gode kharid. How do you end it? We'll see that in the next slide. So here we go. And I'm keeping Ashok in all the slides in the past 3-4 slides, so you get an understanding of how the verb conjugates. It is not anything to do with Ashok. It's always the object, the book, horse, or whatever. Ashok bought 2 horses. Ashok ne 2 gode kharide. Because it's horses, masculine plural, we use kharide. Ashok ne 2 gode kharide. The next one is Manisha. We are moving on from Ashok to Manisha now. Manisha ate. Manisha ne khaya. She ate. So it's a sound. Manisha ne khaya. Another thing for you to notice, if the verb root has something like sound a, and you don't say a, it doesn't happen like that. Instead it is going to be a, ya. Say for instance, here it has to be ka and again a. It has to be ka a. No, in such an instance it has the sound e, like the y. Khaya, khaya. Manisha ne khaya. It is not ka a. Instead it is kaya. Now again Manisha stays, and Manisha, in the previous slide we saw that Manisha ate. Now we are going to see what she ate. Manisha ate 2 mangoes. Is the word meaning mango, which is masculine. So that is for you. Manisha ne do aam khaye. Manisha ne do aam, 2 mangoes. And there are certain nouns in Hindi which doesn't change to plural. It just remains aam. Manisha ne do aam khaye. And even if there is no do there, you can still understand just by khaye, we can understand that we are talking about mangoes and not mango. Where did you buy this mirror? आपने ये आईना कहाँ खरीद? Khareed, and what is it going to be? Aina is mirror and it's masculine. We'll see that in the next sentence. Yes, where did you buy this mirror? आपने ये आईना कहाँ खरीदा? Because it is आईना is masculine and we are talking about just one mirror. It's कहाँ खरीदा. Now in this slide, let us imagine that old person there, elderly person there is talking to that elderly woman. And he's asking, how many cows did you see? आपने कितनी गायें? Cow is गाय and it's feminine, and in plural it becomes गायें. आपने कितनी गायें देख? What is it going to be? Yes, how many cows did you see? आपने कितनी गायें देखी? Because how many cows? We are not talking. We know that she has seen cows, a few cows, and we are asking how many did you see, which already suggests that it is plural. गायें देखी. आपने कितनी गायें देखी? Now it is imagine she's asking to him, क्या आपने एक पत्र लिख? पत्र is letter, masculine. क्या आपने एक पत्र लिख? What is it going to be? You can guess. Okay, we go there. Did you write a letter? क्या आपने पत्र लिखा? क्या आपने पत्र लिखा? I sent a storybook. मैंने एक storybook भेजी. मैंने एक storybook भेजी. Storybook is feminine, so it's मैंने एक storybook भेजी. I sent 3 storybooks. Now it's storybook, feminine, and it is 3 storybook. And of course, when you're using English words, we don't storybooks. It doesn't matter. You can say storybook. 3 storybook भेजी, because it's storybook and it's already thin connotes that. I mean, thin suggests that it is storybooks, feminine. It is storybook भेजी. She did not give the sari. उसने साड़ी नहीं दी. And dena is the verb meaning to give. And some of the words conjugate a little differently. You have to remember them. Dena is one such. It becomes the in feminine past tense. The. Because sari is feminine, meaning sari. Usne sari nahi di. She did not give the sari. Now we are talking about that older person there, the lady, and it is she did not give the sari. That's the reason why I've used the capital she, S-H-E. Unhone. So earlier it was usne, now it becomes unhone sari nahi di. She did not give the sari. Just imagine, we are just don't want to be confused between he, the respectable he, she, or they. To be more precise, we can use un logon ne, that is they folks. Sari nahi di. They did not give sari. Un logon ne, but still the verb diya, that is dena. I should have mentioned it. Just bear in mind, it's the verb is dena, agrees to sari, and it doesn't matter whether it is he, she, or many people. Sari nahi di. We saw many houses. हमने कई घर देखे. And because it is many houses, and for you to note is also that घर masculine, it doesn't change to anything in plural. It just remains gar. So both for masculine and feminine, it's gar. Humne kai, that is many, gar, deke. And deke, by deke we can understand it's plural, gar. Deke. She drank water. Usne pani piya. Why? Because pani is masculine, though it has a sound pani as a initially as a learner you may confuse it for feminine, but it is not feminine. Pani is masculine. Usne pani piya. Pani piya. If you enjoy learning through these descriptive illustrated step-by-step video, be sure to subscribe, like, and click the bell icon, and I shall make several more videos so that learning can be an enjoyable journey. All the best with your Hindi learning.